Welcome back to the Gut Protocol, the channel where we uncover what's really happening inside your body, especially where it matters most, your gut.
Here's what almost nobody tells you. In Japan, many people in their 60s and 70s still wake up feeling light, regular, and energized, as if their digestion never declined in the first place. And it has nothing to do with expensive supplements, detox programs, or extreme cleanses. It comes down to a handful of simple daily habits. Most of them take less than 3 minutes, and the change can happen surprisingly fast. Within just a few days, your digestion begins to move more efficiently. Within a week, the bloating and heaviness start to fade. Within a month, your gut feels noticeably lighter and more stable. In this video, I've ranked 8 Japanese habits from least powerful to most effective, so you can clearly see what actually works and what simply wastes your time. And the number 1 habit on this list is something you already do every single day, just not in the right way. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your gut keeps slowing down over time, no matter how carefully you manage your diet. And more importantly, you'll know how to restore it using simple, practical habits that fit into your daily life. After the age of 40, your digestive system begins to change in ways most people never notice at first. The muscles that move food through your gut, a process known as peristalsis, gradually become slower and less efficient. This means that instead of moving smoothly through your system, food starts to sit longer inside your digestive tract. When that happens, 2 things begin to occur. First, the longer food stays in your gut, the more it begins to ferment. This fermentation produces gas, toxins, and byproducts that lead to bloating, discomfort, and that heavy feeling many people experience after meals. Second, your gut environment begins to shift. The beneficial bacteria that support healthy digestion start to decline, while less helpful strains begin to take over. Over time, this imbalance can affect not just your digestion, but your energy levels, your immune system, and even how your body handles inflammation. And this is where most advice goes wrong. You're told to eat more fiber, drink more water, or take probiotics. And while those can help to a degree, they don't address the underlying issue. Because the real problem isn't just what you're putting into your body, it's how your digestive system is functioning. If your gut movement is slow, if your internal rhythm is off, then even the healthiest foods can sit too long and create problems. The good news is that this process is not fixed. Your digestive system is highly responsive to daily habits. Small changes in timing, temperature, and behavior can reactivate your gut's natural rhythm and help restore efficient digestion. And that's exactly what these Japanese habits are designed to do. Habit number 8. Deep belly breathing and posture. This is one of the simplest practices, and you've probably seen it before in traditional Japanese settings. Sitting upright, breathing slowly and deeply into your abdomen. At first glance, it doesn't seem like it would do much for digestion, but there is a real mechanism behind it. When you breathe deeply using your diaphragm, you create a gentle pressure change inside your abdominal cavity. This pressure subtly stimulates your intestines and helps encourage movement along your digestive tract. At the same time, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for rest and digestion. In other words, it helps your body shift out of a stressed state and into one where digestion can actually function properly. But here's the limitation. The effect is mild. If your digestion has already slowed down significantly, this alone won't be enough to restore it. Think of it as maintaining the system, not fixing it. If you try this, sit upright after a meal, place one hand on your abdomen, and breathe slowly for 3 to 5 minutes, allowing your stomach to expand and contract naturally. It's a helpful foundation, but on its own, it's not a complete solution. Score 2 out of 10. Habit number 7. Warm green tea with fresh ginger. This is a combination that appears frequently in Japanese daily life, and unlike many trends, there is a clear reason it has lasted. Green tea contains compounds that support digestion and help regulate gut bacteria. Ginger, on the other hand, stimulates gastric activity and can help food move more efficiently through the upper part of your digestive system. Together, they create a mild but noticeable improvement, especially after meals. You may feel less heaviness, less sluggishness, and a smoother transition from eating to digestion. But there is an important detail most people miss. The temperature matters. Cold drinks can actually slow digestive activity. Warm liquids, on the other hand, support it. So if you're drinking iced tea or cold beverages with meals, you may be working against your own digestion without realizing it. Switching to warm green tea with a small amount of fresh ginger can help correct that. However, this still mainly affects the early stages of digestion. By the time food reaches the lower intestine, the impact is more limited. So while it helps, it doesn't fully address the deeper slowdown happening in the gut. Score 3 out of 10.
Habit number 6. Gentle abdominal massage. This practice has been used in traditional Japanese approaches to digestion for a long time. And unlike the previous habits, this one works mechanically. Your large intestine follows a very specific path through your abdomen, up the right side, across the top, and down the left. When you apply gentle pressure along this path, you are physically encouraging movement through the digestive tract. In a sense, you are assisting your body from the outside. For people experiencing sluggish digestion, this can lead to noticeable improvements: less pressure, less bloating, and a more regular rhythm. But it needs to be done correctly. Too much pressure or moving too quickly can actually create discomfort rather than relieve it. The safest approach is simple. Lie on your back, bend your knees slightly, and use your palms to apply light, steady pressure. Move slowly, following the natural path of the colon. Done consistently, this can help support gut movement. But like the earlier habits, it mainly addresses one part of the problem. It helps movement, but it doesn't significantly change your gut environment or internal balance. Score 4 out of 10.
Habit number 5. Slowing down and chewing properly. This is one of the most overlooked habits and also one of the fastest to make a noticeable difference. Most people eat quickly. They chew just enough to swallow and then move on to the next bite. But digestion doesn't start in your stomach, it starts in your mouth. When you chew thoroughly, you break food down into much smaller particles. This allows your digestive enzymes to do their job more effectively, reducing the amount of undigested material that reaches your gut. And that matters more than most people realize, because when large, partially digested food particles reach your intestines, they tend to sit longer and ferment. That fermentation is one of the main causes of bloating, gas, and discomfort after eating. Slowing down and chewing more completely reduces that burden immediately. In many cases, people notice a difference within the first day. Meals feel lighter, digestion feels smoother. The approach is simple. Take smaller bites and chew until the food is soft enough that it no longer has a distinct texture. It may feel unnatural at first, especially if you're used to eating quickly. But this single change can significantly reduce the workload on your digestive system. Score 6 out of 10. Habit number 4. Daily fermented foods. This is where things begin to shift more meaningfully. In traditional Japanese diets, fermented foods are a regular part of daily meals. Foods like miso, natto, and pickled vegetables are not occasional additions, they are part of the routine. These foods contain beneficial bacteria that help support the balance of your gut microbiome, and that balance plays a critical role in how efficiently your digestive system functions. When your gut bacteria are in a healthy state, food moves more smoothly, nutrients are absorbed more effectively, and inflammation is kept under control. But when that balance is disrupted, digestion becomes slower and less efficient. Adding small amounts of fermented foods back into your daily routine helps restore that balance over time. One important detail is temperature. Very high heat can reduce the activity of beneficial bacteria. So when using foods like miso, it's best to add them to warm, not boiling liquids. A simple example would be a small bowl of warm miso broth taken once a day. This doesn't produce instant results, but within a few days to a week, many people begin to notice less bloating and a more stable digestive rhythm. Score 8 out of 10.
Habit number 3. A small amount of vinegar before meals. This is one of the most effective habits for activating your digestive system at the right time. In many traditional practices, small amounts of fermented vinegar are used before eating. When vinegar enters your stomach, it helps stimulate digestive activity and prepares your system for incoming food. It also triggers what's known as the gastrocolic reflex. This is a natural signal that tells your digestive tract to begin moving, making space for what you're about to eat. For people with slower digestion, this signal is often weaker than it used to be, and that's one reason food can feel like it just sits in the stomach after meals. A small amount of vinegar before eating helps reactivate that response. The method is simple. Mix a small amount of vinegar with water and take it shortly before your meal. Over time, this can lead to more consistent digestion, less heaviness after eating, and a more regular pattern overall. It's a small adjustment, but it directly supports your body's natural rhythm. Score 8.5 out of 10.
Habit number 2. Eating until you are not completely full. This is a principle that appears consistently in traditional Japanese culture. Instead of eating until they feel full, people are encouraged to stop when they're about 80% satisfied. At first, this might seem like a simple idea, but it has a significant effect on how your digestive system functions. When you eat until you are completely full, your stomach expands to accommodate the extra volume. Your digestive system then has to work harder and longer to process that excess food. This slows everything down. Food remains in your system longer, increasing the likelihood of fermentation, bloating, and discomfort. Over time, this pattern can gradually reduce the efficiency of your digestive rhythm. By stopping slightly earlier, you reduce the load on your system. Digestion becomes more efficient, and your body is able to process food at a more natural pace. There is also a behavioral benefit. Eating more slowly and stopping earlier helps your body recognize signals of satisfaction more clearly. The simplest way to apply this is to pause before finishing your meal. If you feel comfortable and no longer hungry, that is often enough. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but over time it becomes a natural part of how you eat. Score 9 out of 10.
Habit number 1. Starting your day with warm water. This is the most effective habit on the list and also the simplest. In many traditional routines, the day begins not with coffee or food, but with warm water. After several hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. Your digestive system has been at rest. Drinking warm water in the morning helps rehydrate your system and gently activates your digestive tract. Temperature plays an important role here. Warm liquids tend to relax the muscles of the digestive system and support movement. Cold liquids can have the opposite effect, slowing things down. This simple habit helps re-establish your body's natural rhythm at the start of the day. For many people, this leads to more consistent digestion, less heaviness, and a more regular pattern over time. The method is straightforward. Drink a glass of warm water shortly after waking before eating or drinking anything else. There's no need for anything complicated. Consistency matters more than complexity. Score 10 out of 10. At this point, you don't need to do everything at once. Start with the foundation. Begin your day with warm water and then focus on how you eat. Slow down, chew properly, and stop before you feel completely full. From there, you can layer in the rest. Add fermented foods to your routine. Use a small amount of vinegar before meals if it works for you. Each of these habits supports your digestion in a different way. Together, they help restore a more natural rhythm. The changes are not instant, but they are noticeable. Within a few days, you begin to feel lighter after meals. Within a week, the bloating starts to fade. Within a few weeks, your digestion becomes more consistent and predictable. Your gut isn't broken, it's simply out of rhythm. Fix the rhythm and everything starts to change.
Right now, inside your body, there's an entire world working non-stop, a system so powerful that it affects your energy, your mood, your immune system, and even your brain. And today, we're going to take you on a journey inside your gut right after you eat. Because what happens in the next 30 minutes after your meal might shock you. Let's begin. The moment you take your first bite of food, the process doesn't start in your stomach. It actually starts in your brain. Your brain signals your digestive system to get ready. This is called the cephalic phase of digestion. Even the smell or sight of food triggers saliva production in your mouth. Your body is already preparing to break down what you're about to eat. As you chew your food, saliva mixes with it. But this isn't just water. Saliva contains enzymes like amylase that begin breaking down carbohydrates right there in your mouth. Most people rush this step. They barely chew. But here's the truth. Digestion starts in your mouth. The less you chew, the harder your gut has to work later. After swallowing, food travels down your esophagus in a smooth motion called peristalsis. It's like a wave pushing food down into your stomach. And now the real action begins. Within minutes, your stomach becomes a highly acidic environment. Gastric juices flood in. Hydrochloric acid starts breaking down food into smaller components. Proteins begin to unravel. Enzymes like pepsin get to work, turning solid food into a semi-liquid mixture called chyme. But here's something most people don't realize. Your stomach isn't just digesting food. It's also acting as a defense system. That acid kills harmful bacteria and pathogens that may have entered with your meal. However, if your stomach acid is too low, which is very common today, harmful microbes can survive and move further into your gut. That's where problems begin. Now, around 15 to 30 minutes after eating, this partially digested food slowly moves into your small intestine. This is where about 90% of nutrient absorption happens. Your pancreas releases digestive enzymes, your liver sends bile through the gallbladder, and together they break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates into molecules small enough to enter your bloodstream. Glucose enters your blood, causing your blood sugar levels to rise. In response, your body releases insulin. If your diet is balanced, this process stays stable. But if your meal is high in sugar or ultra-processed foods, your blood sugar spikes rapidly, followed by a crash. That crash? That's why you feel tired, sleepy, or even hungry again shortly after eating. Meanwhile, inside your gut, trillions of microorganisms are waking up. Yes, your gut is home to bacteria, viruses, fungi, collectively known as your gut microbiome, and these microbes are not your enemies. In fact, they play a crucial role in your health. When you eat fiber-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, these good bacteria feed on that fiber. In return, they produce beneficial compounds called short-chain fatty acids. These compounds reduce inflammation, strengthen your gut lining, and even improve brain function. But here's the problem. If your diet lacks fiber and is full of processed food, sugar, and unhealthy fats, harmful bacteria begin to dominate. This imbalance is called gut dysbiosis, and it can lead to bloating, gas, constipation, fatigue, and even mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Let's go deeper. Inside your intestines, there is something called the gut lining, a protective barrier that decides what enters your bloodstream and what stays out. In a healthy gut, this barrier is tight and selective. But poor diet, stress, alcohol, and certain medications can damage this lining. When that happens, tiny gaps form. This condition is often referred to as leaky gut. Now, harmful substances, toxins, and undigested food particles can enter your bloodstream. Your immune system reacts. Inflammation begins, and this can trigger a chain reaction affecting your entire body. From skin problems to autoimmune diseases, the root often traces back to the gut. Now here's something even more fascinating. Your gut and brain are directly connected. This connection is known as the gut-brain axis. In fact, around 90% of your serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is produced in your gut. So when your gut is unhealthy, your mood suffers. You may feel anxious, low, or mentally foggy. That's why people often say, trust your gut, because your gut literally influences how you think and feel. So what determines whether your gut works for you or against you? It comes down to your daily habits. Let's break it down. If you eat whole, natural foods, chew properly, stay hydrated, and manage stress, your gut thrives. Your digestion improves, your energy increases, your skin clears, your mind feels sharper. But if your lifestyle includes processed foods, overeating, late-night meals, chronic stress, and lack of sleep, your gut struggles, and over time your health declines. Now let's talk about something practical. What can you do starting today to improve your gut health? First, slow down while eating. Chew your food properly. This simple step can transform your digestion. Second, add more fiber to your diet. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains feed your good bacteria. Third, include fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut. These contain natural probiotics that support your gut microbiome. Fourth, drink enough water. Hydration is essential for smooth digestion and nutrient absorption. Fifth, reduce sugar and processed foods. These disrupt your gut balance and feed harmful bacteria. And finally, manage stress, because stress directly impacts your gut function. Even simple habits like walking, deep breathing, or spending time outdoors can make a big difference. Here's the truth: most people ignore. You don't fix your health overnight, but every meal you eat is either helping your gut or hurting it. Every choice matters, and your gut remembers everything. So, the next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself one question: is this feeding my body or just my cravings? Because inside you right now, there's a system working tirelessly to keep you alive, healthy, and strong. And when you take care of your gut takes care of you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us here at the Gut Protocol, where we bring you science-backed insights to heal your body from within. And remember, good health doesn't start in the gym. It starts in your gut.